Hi everyone, and welcome back. In this video, we're going to set it up so that we can receive our MQTT data into Node-RED. We're also going to install a couple of modules. One of them is a dashboard module. The other is an LED module. So let's get started. First, let me get out of your way here, and let's go open up a browser. And if you would, log into your AWS account. Once you're there, we want to go into our EC2 instance. So click on EC2, and on the left-hand side, click on Instances and Instances. Okay. And you can see, again, you may only have one instance, but our instances are running. The status checks are good. If we click on our instance, we can see the public IP address. So let's copy that. And let's open up a new tab in the browser. We'll paste our IP address. And remember, if we add :1880, then we can get to Node-RED. And that will load up Node-RED for us on our EC2 instance. Okay. Now to add an MQTT input node to get the data, what we need to do is over here on the left-hand side underneath these nodes is if we scroll down until we get to network, we can grab an MQTT input node, drop it in, double click on it to configure it. Now, the first thing it's asking for here is a server, okay? So what we need here is the endpoint that we used a while back when we set up MQTT in WinLadder. You guys remember that? Where we got that from was if we go back into our AWS account, and if we search for IoT Core, we can click on IoT Core. And in here, if we scroll down to our settings, it will show us the endpoint. This is what we need. So let's go ahead and copy this and go back to Node-RED. And we'll come over here and click this pencil icon so we can edit this server. Okay, so our server, we just want to paste as plain text, or just paste, either one, that endpoint. Okay. Now remember, MQTT is using a secure connection, so it's using port 8883. Okay. We need to come down here and click on this Use TLS checkbox. That'll pop it up for TLS configuration, and then we can click on this little pencil to import our certificates. Okay. And you guys would not have any of those there. So what we would want to do is upload the certificate, the private key, and the CA certificate that we created in an earlier video. So let's go do that. If I click Upload on the certificate, and if I go to my Downloads folder, okay, here again, these, down here at the bottom, these are the certificates that we created. And this is asking for the certificate file. So we grab the certificate.pem, open that, go grab the private key certificate, click on Upload, and again, that's in our Downloads folder. There's the private key. And finally, the CA certificate, if we click on Upload, and we can import the CA certificate. All right. Now, if we scroll down, we don't need to verify the server certificate, so we don't need to enter anything here. We can simply click on Update, and that's got the little server area configured. Okay. If we scroll down a little bit, there's protocol. This is set to MQTT v3.1.1 by default. That's fine. Client ID, we can leave blank. Keep alive at 60 is fine. And session, we can click to use a clean session. That's fine too. So if we click Update, that'll update everything about that server. Okay. Now what we need to do is enter the topic the QoS, and what kind of output we want coming out of this node. If you remember from the earlier videos, the topic that we were publishing on was FC6A/data, and we had a quality of service of 0. Now for the output of this object, I want to change this from auto-detect. I want to change this to a parsed JSON object, okay? And that is good. Let's go ahead and click Done. And the last node that I want to drag in here for right now, if I scroll up, it's under the common section, it's a debug node. Okay, so I can drag this in. And it by default will switch to message payload. That's fine for what we want. Now what I want to do is I want to connect these two nodes together. And all we have to do is simply click on the output side of one node, hold down your left mouse button, and drag over to the input node of the other one and release it. Now those are connected. Now for us to actually make this live, all we have to do is come up here and click the deploy button. Okay. And you can see right away it connected. Okay, so that means everything that we entered there is good and valid. So what we can do now, excuse me, is if in Node-RED here, if we go just under this deploy button, you'll see one that looks like a squashed bug. It says debug messages. If we click on that, and let me delete all of these, now what you should see is every couple of seconds, the temperature is getting published, right? That's how we set it up in the PLC. So we're seeing the payload is this JSON message, temperature, 81.2.3.1. So we are now successfully getting MQTT data into Node-RED from our PLC, okay? And we can see it again with this debug node. We're able to go and check and see what is being published here, or being received actually. It's being published by the PLC, being received into Node-RED. All right, so now that we've got this connection, we can do just about anything we want with the data, okay? So to finish off this video, what I want to do is let's go and install the dashboard, and let's go and install an LED, okay? So how do we do that? In Node-RED, if we go up here to this menu beside the deploy button, these three bars, if you click on that, come down about 3/4 of the way to Manage Palette. We'll click on that, and you'll see this has got nodes and install. If we come over here to install and click on that, we can search for modules. Well, first, let's search for dashboard. And I got to spell it right. Dashboard. All right. Now, if you see the second one, it says it's node-red-dashboard. It's a set of dashboard nodes for Node-RED. We want to install this. So to install it, we simply come over here and click the install button. And install up here again. And it'll take a few seconds there, and that module will be installed. And you'll see it added the following nodes to the palette. Okay, so we'll have them over here that we can work with. The next one, let's delete this dashboard search and type in LED. Okay, now let's take a look and see which one we want here. There we go. So if we scroll down a little bit, we've got node-red-contrib-UI-LED. It's a simple LED status indicator for the Node-RED dashboard. Let's install that one as well. So if we click the install button and click install here, wait a few seconds, and now the UI LED has been added to the palette. All right, we're done installing things for now. Let's go ahead and click on close. And now if we come over here to our available nodes, if we scroll down, what we'll see is now we have this section for dashboards. So we can put in switches and buttons and sliders and different things like that. And if we keep scrolling down towards the bottom, we also have that LED that we just added as well. Okay. So in the next video, what we'll do is we will build up a few different what's called flows just to get some data, MQTT data in, and we'll build up a dashboard. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.